Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Lee Whittaker here at the Ashbury Golf Resort. Now I've reviewed and tested the Titleist T100 and 100S and the Titleist T200. Well, today it's time for the Titleist T300. Now this is Titleist's most forgiving iron out of the three in the T-Series, or the four in the T-Series, and it's had a few subtle changes from the last incumbent of the T300. At the back we still have this, like, I don't know, I called it a spaceship on the last T300 because it had this little like line coming across, but this one doesn't have it. I'll be honest, I don't like the look of this at all. I think the back on the original T300 or the last incumbent was really nice. I don't like it. Really do not like this at all. It's just my opinion, you know, each to their own. But for me, it just looks a little bit cheap. Not what I was expecting. But what it looks like means nothing. It's all about how they perform. And with this being the Super Game Improvement iron, like a super thick top line, I expect this to be really forgiving, really strong lofted, and to go an absolute mile with next to no spin. That's what I'm expecting from it, but there's only one way to test it, and that's to get it on GC Quad, open up the shutter and hit some balls into the range. Unfortunately, I can't get out on the course like I did with the T100 and the T200. They are just far too busy for me to be able to get out there at the moment. So it's going to be indoor data, and then I'll open up a hole and we'll just hit some approach shots and see how consistent they are. All that's left to do is hit some shots. Okay, first impression, this top line is mega thick. Now, what it does on the top is it does like what a lot of them are doing. It's got a satin look which stops, and then it's chromed out and sort of bevels, fades away a little bit. So it gives the impression that the top line is really thin, whereas actually it's actually really thick. But the person who's moving into this type of club is going to want that. However, when you look at it down at the ball, it doesn't look that thick because of the way it bevels across. It actually looks all right, to be fair. It's quite a big head, which I'd expect it to have anyway. But how does it sound and feel? Oh, it sounds superb. I don't know how far this is going to go. I'll put a green out at 190. Seems to be about right. It actually sounds and feels really nice. That first shot felt felt lovely. What did we spin on that? 5,000 spin, so not too bad really, considering it's a 29° 7 iron, so it's where my 6 iron is. So that carried 179, my 6 iron goes about 185, so it's acceptable, an acceptable spin for the loft. Another really good hit. It does feel good, feels really good, consistent as well for yardage. That's gone 181, so 2 yard difference, really good. I will say, unlike some, I don't know how it compares to something like the Big Bertha, it's not as thick as you probably might think it is. I mean, the Big Bertha is like super game improvement, whereas this is, it's acceptable. You know, I could play these. Yeah, I could absolutely play these. It's a little bit out the toe, so a little bit of a drop off, but it still went out there. They're not as power batty as I expected them to be. I put that green out at 190, expecting to pitch it. It is, pulled that. It does feel, it feels nice, but it feels a little bit heavier off the face than like a T200 or a T100. It doesn't feel as soft. It doesn't feel as nice. Like I could play them, but I don't think I'd like playing them. Yeah, see, that came out the middle, felt nice, but it just feels heavy. It's really difficult to describe the feeling. Just like some clubs, like the P790s and stuff, when you hit it, it feels like it's fired off the face. This, I don't know, it just feels like it feels like a bit of brick. That's the only way to describe it. getting decent peak height, it's getting decent distance. It's a great shot. Spin seems to be consistently around sort of 4,900, 5,000 spin. Consistent shot shape. There's nothing standing out that sort of makes me think, oh, these are horrible. Apart from I just feel like I've hit a brick. I absolutely went after that one. Pulled the living off it. All right, let's hit one more. Let's see what the data says, and then we'll load up a hole and sort of put a bit of a green in the way. But it's okay. As far as game improvement irons go, it feels good. It's just, oh, I don't know, I don't like it. Give me a lovely shot shape. 5, 6 spin, 1500 launch angle, 15 launch angle on that one. It's performing well. You know, it's doing what I would expect it to do. Just the sound and feel is a little bit heavy. Okay, let's look at the data then. So just ignore the fact it says hybrid. So ball speed 123.8, thereabouts for what I would expect to see from sort of like somewhere between my 6 and 7 iron. Launch angle 17.6 is acceptable, it's fine, it's where I'd probably expect it to be. Spin down at 4.8, standard deviation 4.71, up to 5.2, down to 4.4. You know, if it was a 6 iron, I'd accept that. I would accept that. For a 7 iron, I'd probably want it to be a little bit better. Average carry 180 yards, but the good thing is the deviation, you know, for me is 5 yards front and back. And I know that's a club, but it's acceptable for what is a 29-degree 7 iron. You know, it's not got the length of shaft that my 6 iron's got, which goes 185. So it's in that yardage exactly where I'd want it to be for the loft, not necessarily for the 7 iron. Right, so I've loaded up a hole and I've picked a bit of a different one than usual. Difference between this T300 and the last one, 40% more tungsten in this head. That's going to improve launch conditions, so it's designed to give you higher launch. It's got max face impact technology, which is what this what was the old spaceship on the old one, but this little raised part at the back. It's designed to give you more weight behind the sort of the sweet spot of the club, to give you sort of more distance and better launch. But can we stop it on this green? So the green is 186 away, and I'm over water. So I've got to carry it most of the way. And that's just going to go left, bouncing off the bank. Go on, roll down. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going in. It's going in. It's going Oh, I wish I was this lucky on real golf. It's weird. I've been saying, like, it does feel heavy when you hit a ball, but it does feel okay. It doesn't feel horrible. It's just, when I compare it to like what I'm used to playing and the T200, T100, it just feels a bit heavy off the face. It's a good hit. Now that has launched really high. If that's on target, that's going to stop really quickly. Oh, come back down off the bank. No, that one carried 193, came out with 4.3 spin, so that's just flown 10 yards, 13 yards over average, really. I don't know, don't feel like I swung it any faster, but that's golf, that can happen. I pulled the living crap out of that one. Go on, hit the path ball. No, that was just a rubbish shot. Absolutely rubbish. Come on, let's get one close to that pin. It has got some offset, and to be honest, I'm struggling a little bit with that. So I feel like I've got to open the face just a little bit to stop that left, and if I don't, that happens. That was just, I'm not doing very well at the minute, am I? Come on, let's try and hit that green. Feels like a good hit. Where's it for target? Left hand side, come on, bounce down. definitely got a hill, this green, hasn't it? Well, I'll let a couple more because I actually want to hit the green as opposed to hit the bank and roll down. Same a little bit further out to the right. Yeah, the offset is just putting me off a little bit, but the person who's in this club probably wants a little bit of offset anyway. That's going on that bank again. I love that bank. That's not rolling down there. I'm not going to stop until I hit that green. It's now a personal challenge to get that green. Once I hit that green, I'll stop. This could be a 3-hour video. That's better. Come on, come around. Hey! That's more like it. All right. Okay, last one. Yeah, to be honest, it's a nice club. It feels okay. For its bracket and its target market, it feels great compared to some of the others I've used. But compared to some of the other Titleist clubs, no, it's just heavy, clunky, and just feels like you're hitting a brick. Finish with a good one. Get up, roll down that ball, roll down, roll down. Yeah, once I'd line myself up better, it's funny how you can hit the green, still Lee, alignment, still something I need to work on. Right, let's conclude. Okay, so in conclusion then, what do I think of it? Looks wise at the back, I hate it. Absolutely hate it. I do not like it at all. I think the old one looks so much better. This just, I don't like it, but that's my opinion, and some people will love it. Top line, I love the way they've tried to disguise the thick top line because it is that thick, but if you come into here, it's really thin with the satin, so I love that fact of it. From looking down at the ball, it looks great, so it looks like a good iron. It's got a decent length, but it's not massive, so you don't like, it doesn't look like it's a super game improvement iron. Feeling sounds a little bit clicky. Feels sometimes like you're just hitting a rock. It just feels heavy off the face, whereas, like I said before, some of the other clubs just feel fast off the face. They feel like they've just flung off the face and are going forward. This one doesn't feel like that, but it still performs just as well as any of the others. So performance-wise, I cannot knock it. It's just feel-wise for me, it just feels a little bit heavy. Downsides for me is an offset, but I'm not in this market of club. I'm not its desired customer, but someone who is in that market, who is looking for this type of iron, and I put it up against something like the Callaway Apex, for example, as it's sort of within its same sort of bracket. It's great, and I think it'll be a tough decision for someone who's in that brand between Apex and T300, because it does perform really, really well. I did get that one that came out a little bit hot and went 193. Spin came down a little bit. It happens, and it happens with most of the clubs that come in this sort of bracket. It's happened on the P790. It's happened to me with Apex. It's just golf, isn't it? That sometimes happens. But consistency-wise, overall, it's performed really, really well. It's consistent with its shot shape for me, which is a little bit too pulley or a little bit too right to left. I'm being attacked. Purely because of the offset, I feel. Because the shaft is a 6.5 Project X, it's a shaft I'm used to. All in all, it's a good club. There's just a few cons for me, and that's looks, offset and feel, really. But what I will say, if you're in this bracket for this type of club, do not dismiss the T300. Go and test that up against your Apexes or your Pings or whatever it is you want to test it up against, your ZX5 or, you know, things like that, ZX4. Give it a go. You've got nothing to lose, because T300 last year was really popular. It's certainly as good as the T300 last time, just a few things that aren't, in my opinion, just as nice. I hope you liked that video, and if you have, please do give this video a thumbs up by clicking that like button down below. If you are new or you aren't yet subscribed, please do click that subscribe button. I do bring out content that are club reviews. I am in the process of going professional, and I'm documenting that journey, and I will continue to document that journey going forward. So if you do want to watch things like that, then please do give my channel a subscribe and ring that bell as well. For the time being, I'm going to leave that there, and I'll see you all on the next video.